Karma is a concept that, at its core, strikes a chord with a great number of people. A lot of people believe that karma is similar to a scorecard in the cosmos, which keeps track of our good and bad deeds and either rewards or punishes us for them. In reality, however, karma is about coming to terms with the fact that our acts have consequences. We often hear the phrase, "What goes around comes back around." This concept is comparable to the scientific principle that Newton espoused, which states that every action has a response that is equal and opposite to it. It is important to note that this is not only a physical rule, rather, it is a deep spiritual truth that encompasses every facet of our life. I will now provide the 12 laws of karma, along with the ways in which you might use them to your advantage. These laws provide you a solution to a lot of problems and challenges that you face in your life. Let's imagine you are assisting a buddy in moving residences. What is the great law? It's possible that your buddy won't be able to assist you with your relocation the very next day, but maybe a month or a year from now, you'll discover that you get assistance of some type when you least expect it. It is possible that it is not even from the same buddy. As an alternative, it may be from a total stranger. It is similar to sowing a seed of kindness and then seeing it develop over the course of time. On the other hand, it is not enough to just provide people with material goods. It is also important to treat them with respect. The majority of the time, people will behave in the same manner toward you if you are polite and courteous. The effect is similar to putting positive energy out into the world and receiving positive energy in return. You may be wondering, what if I'm nice and people are still mean to me? Keep in mind that it takes time for seeds to develop into mature plants. The positive deeds you do are analogous to seeds that you sow. Their development into something beneficial to you may take some time, but in the end, they will be worth it. No matter what is going on in your immediate environment, the most essential thing is to continue to treat others with kindness. Even if you are having a horrible day, you should make an effort to be the greatest version of yourself that you can be, because the actions you do, like seeds, will eventually blossom into something greater. On the other hand, if you continue to be a decent person in the world, you will have a greater chance of receiving wonderful things in return. Life will always have its highs and lows. There is a possibility that it may come in the shape of love, friendship, or perhaps a new opportunity that you did not anticipate. To put it another way, the cosmos has a way of bringing things full circle. Therefore, what are some things that you may do right now to plant some positive seeds? As easy as holding the door open for someone, or as significant as assisting a friend who is in need, it might be anything. Remember that it is not only for them. Not only is it for them, but it is also for you. Every little thing matters. There will come a time when the seeds of good that you have sown will flourish and return to you in a remarkable manner. Allow this concept to serve as a compass for you every day. Your goal should be to plant the seeds of love, respect, and compassion wherever you go. Make this your purpose. Imagine yourself as a magnet, according to the law of creation. Do you know how magnets get metal to attract them? Not only do you attract the sort of life you have depending on what you hope for, but you also attract others based on who you are. If you are a happy person, you will have a greater chance of attracting joyful circumstances and people into your life. If you are someone who is often angry or unhappy, then it is quite possible that you will find yourself in circumstances that will make you feel even more furious or sad. When things don't go as planned, a lot of individuals tend to point the finger at other people. Oh, it's my boss's fault I'm not happy at work, or I'm single because there are no good people left. However, here's a wake-up call. You are the director of your own life's movie. You take responsibility for your own happiness. You are the only one who can make changes to anything that is not functioning properly. You shouldn't simply sit back and allow life happen to you. Instead, you should take charge of your own life. If you have a brilliant idea that comes to you, you should act on it. When an opportunity presents itself, you should greet it with open arms. Be sure to make the most of the fact that you have the ability to choose your own destiny. But what about the folks who are in your immediate vicinity? Individuals believe that you are the average of the 5 individuals with whom you spend the most time during your life. You should take a look around. Are they the kinds of people you want to be? Are they a source of motivation for you, or do they drag you down? It's possible that you won't be able to alter them, but you have the ability to decide who you spend time with. If you want to go where you want to go in life, it may be time to locate new companions or mentors who are on the same page as you. Create an environment in which you are surrounded by things and people that enrich you. You should read books that push you to your limits, listen to music that encourages you, and watch movies that show you how to be inspired. Maintain a positive attitude in your life, and you will find that positivity will return to you. Never forget that you have power over yourself, even while you can't control everything else. Therefore, you should stop waiting for things to change and instead begin making changes on your own. Put forth the effort to become the greatest version of yourself and see how the world around you begins to shift as a result. In the event that you are dissatisfied, you should ask yourself, what can I do to change this, rather than blame others? Be the artist of your own life by directing them back to yourself and telling yourself, I have the power to turn this around. Paint an image that you would be pleased to refer to as your masterpiece to others. The colors, the brushes, and the canvas are all in your own. The only thing that is lacking is for you to take that first stroke. If you want to make the most of the wonderful creation that is your life, then you should go ahead and take the initiative. Take it in your hands, shape it, and watch it develop into something really remarkable. Imagine that you are going around with a stone in your shoe in accordance with the law of humility. However, you continue to walk as if it does not affect you, despite the fact that you are aware that it is there and experiencing discomfort. What takes place? It continues to cause you pain, right? Suppose you were to pause, remove your shoe, and get rid of the stone. What would happen then? The issue has been resolved, and you are now able to walk without restriction. It's a lot like that in real life. To put it another way, every one of us is confronted with obstacles or issues that make our trip more difficult. Nevertheless, a significant number of us continue to stroll about as if these problems do not exist. What we fail to see is that ignoring an issue does not cause it to disappear. Rather, it just persists, generating an increasing amount of agony as time goes on. What is the first stage in the process of resolving any problem? Defending the fact that it is real. Fixing something that you do not realize is impossible. Suppose you are always late to work. You are missing the point if you attribute the problem on things like traffic, the weather, or your alarm clock. There is a possibility that the true issue is that you are not allowing yourselves sufficient time to get together. That is the only thing that will change until you embrace this. There is a possibility that confronting your issues head-on can seem a bit intimidating, but guess what? The instant you do so, you are already halfway to finding solutions to problems, since the ability to alter the course of events is solely in your control. It is possible to divert the energy that you were spending to avoid the problem in order to use it to solve it. It is not a show of weakness to acknowledge that you are struggling with an issue. Rather, it is a sign of strength. It indicates that you have the courage to confront reality in its current state, rather than in the way that you would want it to be. When you finally come to terms with something, you will begin to see it more clearly. It will be possible for you to discover solutions to your problems and transform them into chances for personal development. Therefore, set aside some time to thoughtfully examine your life. Is everything going well? Rejoice in that fact. What is in need of improvement? Face it head-on. Don't try to avoid it. You can establish a strategy to alter something after you have determined what it is that needs to be changed. This is the good news. It's possible that you need to acquire new abilities or seek guidance from someone who has been in your shoes before. It's possible that you need to make some difficult decisions, such as quitting a relationship that's preventing you from moving forward or finding a new career that is more aligned with your objectives. Whatever it is, keep in mind that the first step in finding a solution to an issue is to acknowledge that you have a problem. So make sure you don't continue to let your stones damage you. Now is the time to remove your shoes, shake them out, and walk freely in the direction of a better future. Imagine you are holding a little acorn in your palm with the law of growth. That little nut has the potential to develop into a massive oak tree if it is allowed to grow. But how did it happen to be there? It begins with the developing of roots. The tree is held in place by these roots, which are located deep below and draw nutrients from the soil. The tree gets higher above ground and spreads its branches out, searching for the light as it does so. That acorn is a good analogy for how we are in life. Every single one of us has the capacity to develop into something very remarkable, but this does not happen immediately. It is necessary to have patience, time, and the appropriate circumstances. Similar to how the acorn needs soil, water, and sunshine in order to flourish, we too require the appropriate surroundings. This entails surrounding ourselves with upbeat individuals who encourage us and push us to improve ourselves. It entails tending to our bodily and mental health, maintaining a healthy diet, engaging in physical activity, and receiving sufficient amounts of sleep. It involves establishing objectives and diligently working toward achieving them, especially when the going gets rough. And maybe most crucially, it means having faith in ourselves, even when no one else does. Because just like the acorn, we already possess all that is necessary for us to be successful inside ourselves. Simply said, we need to tend to it and provide it sufficient time to develop. Therefore, if you are not quite where you want to be, you should not let this discourage you. Don't forget that every single massive oak tree started off as a little acorn. Keep giving your dreams the water they need, and one day they will blossom and grow to reach the heavens. The law of responsibility. Have you ever heard the expression, "With great power comes great responsibility"? It is not only a statement from a superhero movie, rather, it is a reality that applies to everyone. We all possess power, whether we are aware of it or not. The ability to choose and the capacity to act are both within our reach. Furthermore, along with such power comes responsibility, namely, the need to take responsibility for our choices and the results they produce. Assume for a moment that you are traveling along the road and that someone has cut you off. You have the option of either honking your horn and yelling at them or taking a big breath and letting it go. Both of these behaviors are acceptable. In any case, the decisions you do will have repercussions. If you choose to respond with anger, you run the risk of exacerbating the difficulty of the situation and putting yourself and others in jeopardy. On the other hand, if you make the decision to maintain your composure, you will protect yourself and stop things from getting out of hand. Every single aspect of our life is subject to the same fundamental concept. It doesn't matter whether we're talking about our personal aspirations, our professional endeavors, or our relationships. We are always making decisions that will determine our future. In addition, while we are unable to control everything that occurs to us, we do have the ability to choose how we react to it. Rather of pointing the finger at others or offering excuses, we have the option of accepting responsibility for our acts and the consequences of those actions. Because we are all human, we are all capable of making errors. This does not imply that we are required to be flawless. What it does entail, however, is that we have to be truthful with ourselves and with other people about our goals and the consequences of the decisions we make. You have the ability to make a choice, but you also have the obligation to take responsibility for the outcomes of that choice. Keep this in mind the next time you find yourself in a situation where you must make a tough decision. Own up to that authority and make intelligent use of it. It is your invitation to tap into this great power that is contained inside the tale of concentration. Did you know that when you assist someone, you get that nice and fuzzy feeling? That's what the law of giving and hospitality is all about. This is the universe's way of letting you know that you are heading in the right direction. It might be anything as simple as giving someone who is struggling some time a smile or even some change. The act of giving is beautiful, not just because it represents who you are on the inside, but also because it is beautiful in and of itself. There is a lot that can be learned about your personality from the way that you engage with the environment around you, particularly when you believe that no one is observing you. Genuine development is not about the amount of wealth you amass. Rather, it is about the amount of wealth you give away. To really be wealthy, one must possess something that cannot be purchased with money, a heart that is willing to offer. Providing is not only about providing money or other goods, it is also about offering your time, your knowledge, and even your attention, a listening ear, a word of encouragement, or a simple act of kindness. You could believe that you are unable to contribute because you consider yourself to be financially incapable of doing so. Despite the fact that they are completely free, they might mean everything to a certain person. It is claimed that you may get by giving, and you have heard this. It may seem to be paradoxical, yet it is one of the most beautiful realities that life has to offer. When you contribute without expecting anything in return, you are not depleting yourself. Rather, you are nourishing your life with happiness, tranquility, and a feeling of purpose. As a result of this rule, we learn that generosity is also an indication of maturity. People who are mature are aware that life is not a trip that just one person takes. We are all linked. Additionally, as you assist in relieving the difficulties of another individual, you find that you are able to climb to a greater level yourself. That being said, here's the thing. True generosity does not come with any conditions connected to it. The scorecard is not maintained by it. It originates from a place of love and compassion, and there is no expectation of receiving anything in exchange for it. It is for this reason that this legislation is connected to hospitality. The act of making other people feel welcome, loved, and respected is an essential component of hospitality. This may be accomplished by opening your house or simply by opening your heart. The act of sharing what you have, regardless of how much or how little it may be, is the essence of hospitality. If you follow the principle of hospitality and generosity in your daily life, you will be able to make the world a better place, one act of kindness at a time. And as you continue to give, you will begin to notice something incredible happening. You will begin to attract positivity and abundance into your life. Opportunities that you could never have imagined will present themselves to you, and you will make connections that will improve your life in many ways. Therefore, keep this rule in mind the next time you find yourself reluctant to offer anything, whether it be a praise, a helpful hand, or a portion of your valuable time. Try to keep in mind that giving is the same as growing. You can make the world a better place by extending your hand and helping others. The reason behind this is because when you make someone else's life better, it makes your own life better in ways that you never imagined were possible. Each and every act of selflessness causes ripples to be sent out into the cosmos, ripples that will eventually return to you in the form of waves of benefits. Therefore, do not be afraid to offer freely and to leave your heart open to the world. You are going to be astounded by what you find back. Performing a single act of kindness is all that stands between you and a better life and a better planet. Try your hand at it. The tradition of presence, also known as the law of presence. Isn't it true that life is a game of balancing? There are a number of proverbs that we have all heard, such as learn from the past and plan for the future. Although these proverbs have some validity, there are times when they may divert our attention away from the most important time that we have, the current now. Take a moment to reflect on the fact that the only time you have any influence over is right now. What has already taken place cannot be altered, and the future cannot be predicted with absolute certainty. But what you are doing right now is the only thing that you are, my buddy. If the present is so strong, why is it so? Mostly due to the fact that it is the period when your life genuinely takes place. It is possible for you to have the most incredible dreams in the world, but if you do not take any action to make them a reality right now, they will stay nothing more than dreams. In a similar vein, you could be carrying around errors from the past, but if you are not taking action to rectify or learn from them in the present moment, you are effectively letting the faults of the past to cloud your present and future. It is not necessary to ignore either the past or the future in order to be present. You should instead conceive of them as instruments that you may use to improve your present moment. The lessons that you have learned in the past are like a treasure trove, like a library where you may study previous chapters to obtain fresh perspectives. You are free to look through it, but you shouldn't end up staying there. The things that you need should be brought back to the current moment. Your future serves as your compass, that bright light that leads you across the uncharted territory of the unknown. If you do not have a clear plan for your future, you are like a ship that is not equipped with a compass and instead drifts aimlessly over the ocean. Aim high, make detailed plans, but don't let yourself get caught up in the future. Instead, you should ask yourself, what can I do today to get one step closer to my dream? In order to make the most of the law of presence, you need to cultivate a mindset that is focused on the here and now. When you find yourself drifting into the past or the future, gently pull yourself back. Focus on your breathing, the sensation of the air against your skin, or the ground beneath your feet. Anything that brings you back to the present moment. Always keep in mind that every single action you take and every single decision you make takes place in the present moment. It is precisely these choices and actions that define not only how well you recover from your past, but also how bright your future will be. The law of change throws a light on the law of change. It is a wake-up call to everyone who has ever felt stuck in a never-ending loop, whether it be a job that is going nowhere, a relationship that is more draining than fulfilling, or even a bad habit that you just can't shake. You have probably heard the following statement before. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. There is a certain power in this simplicity. The law of change is your blueprint for breaking free. Imagine your life as a movie. If the scenes keep repeating, wouldn't it get boring? You have the power to rewrite the script, direct a different scene, and even cast new characters. You are the screenwriter, director, and the lead actor in the movie of your life. If you don't like how things are going, yell, "Cut," and alter the course of events. Transform your life into a masterpiece, a narrative of victory, transformation, and development. The first step to embracing this law is awareness. You need to recognize what's not working. Take a good look at your life. Are there patterns that keep repeating? Perhaps you find yourself in the same kinds of relationships or facing similar problems at work or in your personal life. Once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. And that's good, because awareness is the first step toward change. The second stage is desire. You have to want the change. It is simple to get comfortable, even in circumstances that are not ideal. Taking a step into the unknown may be frightening, but the risk is often worth the reward. Your path toward change will be fueled by your desire for something better. The third step is action. No change ever came about as a result of sitting around and wishing for it. Whether it's enrolling in a class, seeking professional assistance, establishing boundaries, or even taking the plunge into a new venture, you need to take action. Small steps taken consistently lead to staggering results over time. Each step may not seem like much, but when you look back, you'll see how far you've come. In conclusion, it is important to be patient and kind to yourself during this process. Change is often messy, and you may have setbacks. It is all right to take 2 steps back for every one stride forward. The most important thing is to keep going ahead. The only time you really fail is when you halt your progress. If you are looking for an instant boost, a quick fix, or a shortcut to success, you might find it, but it won't last. The real, long-lasting, and deeply rooted joys and accomplishments of life come from taking a consistent and patient approach to your goals and aspirations. The law of patience, also known as the law of patience and reward. When you think about the bamboo tree, you should consider the fact that it takes it years to build a strong root system underground before it even breaks through the soil. However, once it does, it grows at an incredible rate. Just like the bamboo tree, you are laying down roots every single day that you continue to strive and improve. Consider it a contract with your future self. If you put in the effort today, tomorrow, and the next day, the rewards will continue to pay dividends for years to come. It is an investment that you can't afford to not make, because it is a lifelong investment. How many times have you felt like giving up? The road is too difficult. The struggle is too difficult. When this happens, you need to remind yourself about the power of patience and reward. Now, the tricky part is that the road to patience is often paved with frustration. You might not see results immediately. It's like going to the gym for a week and being upset that you're not suddenly in the best shape of your life. Growth, whether it's physical, emotional, or spiritual, takes time. The journey is long and sometimes arduous. But oh, is it worth it? When you finally reach that mountain peak, the view will be unimaginable, because you'll know that every step, every stumble, brought you to that breathtaking moment. You should stop measuring your progress using the ruler of another person. Although it may appear that other people are ahead of you, you do not know the path that they have traveled. It is possible that they are on an entirely different journey. Therefore, you should not compare yourself to them. Instead, you should concentrate on your own path. Every step you take forward, no matter how small, is a victory. Celebrate those victories and pride yourself in them, because they are the foundation of your future success. Patience is an active trait that requires you to do your best every single day, and to have the understanding that the pieces of the puzzle will eventually fit together. It is about trusting the process, even when you are unable to see the whole picture. Learning to be patient does not mean sitting back and waiting for the universe to hand you what you desire. You have within you an enormous power, the power of persistence. Your dreams might seem distant now, but each day you work toward them, they come a step closer. And remember, even if it feels like you're not moving, those are the days you're laying the deepest roots. Roots that will hold you firmly when you're ready to shoot up towards the sky, reaching heights you've never imagined. The law of significance and inspiration. We are often stuck in the narrow lens of self-interest, concentrating on our own personal benefits and losses. However, what if we were to broaden the frame a little bit? What if, rather than asking, "What can I get?" when we ask, "What can I give?" Is there anything that I can add to this enormous, magnificent and chaotic table of life that will not just improve my dish, but also the plates of everyone else? The concept of significance here is a powerful one. When your actions are significant, they echo beyond the boundaries of your individual life. They ripple out, affecting others in ways you might never even know. Think about the teacher who sparks a love of reading in a young child. That single act can set off a cascade of events that might lead to that child becoming an author, educator, or a lifelong learner. And what about the nurse who provides not just medical care but emotional support to a patient, transforming a stressful hospital stay into a moment of human connection? These are actions of significance, acts that inspire. But significance isn't just for teachers, nurses, or other professionals. It's for all of us. Every action we take, big or small, can add value to the world. Even the simple act of offering a smile to a stranger can lift someone's spirits. And who knows how that renewed energy might be used. Your life touches countless others, so make those touch points matter. Be the reason someone believes in the goodness of people. Living a life of importance also requires you to have a keen awareness of your internal compass. Are the activities you do on a daily basis in accordance with what you consider to be just and good? Are you making choices that will not only advance your cause, but also inspire others? Are you a source of motivation? When it comes to being an inspiration, it is not necessary to perform grand gestures. Inspiration can be found in the everyday, in demonstrating kindness, demonstrating resilience, and being a good listener. Sometimes it is not about leading the charge, but rather about supporting others in finding their own path. It is about lighting the way, even if it is just for one person. Think about this law every morning when you wake up. What are some things that you can do today that will not only benefit you, but will also contribute to the greater good? How can your actions create ripples that extend outward, enriching the world around you? Do not underestimate the power of living a life that contributes to the whole. It is the most rewarding life you can live. Whether or not you have a spiritual belief in karma, the principles that are outlined in these 12 karmic laws provide a roadmap to a life that is fulfilling. They direct us toward becoming better humans, not only for our own sake, but also for the good of the community. I hope that this video teaches you some valuable lessons about life. If you enjoy it, please share it with someone who might be in need of it. I hope you have a wonderful day, and may the divine God bless you.